Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today is Monday, December 26, 2022. I am Solid Blue Sister, and this is my turn to talk. And I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. It is a very nice day here in sunny Southern California. Hello, the only crazy lady, number one today. Hi, Frankie. Hey, Minnesota. Oh, young lady. Thank you, crazy lady. You're being nice to me. Thank you. Hey, Minnesota. Shelby. Hey, welcome. You know, busy weekend. A lot of people are behind today. That I try streaming from over on TikTok. Frankie, are you doing double duty? Oh, I think that's you. I don't know. But either way, um, guys, today I want to talk about something that I used to say at the end of my shows, my old shows. I used to say, speak your truth. And even though I very much believe that, hi Ellie, welcome. Even though believe that, um, I'm I do believe that everyone does have a truth. I truly believe that. I believe that we all live our lives in our own different lens. What may be true for you may not be true for me. What may be true for me may not be true for you. And we see things differently. Um, and I just, some people have a problem. Some people have a problem with when you say, speak your truth. Hi, Blunt Ninja. Welcome. Um, some people, they almost take offense to when you say speak your truth. And this past week, I'm not going to mention any names, so someone got in trouble again, supposedly, for saying something that um, they should not have said, and they repeated it. And I find that people are very hypocritical. We all are. We've all been there. We've all said things that we say here, but then we don't say there. And some things we take back, some things we don't, some things we double down on. We've all done it. Welcome, Daddy Hoff. But when people say, "Hey, Sharon, welcome, welcome," But when people, Sharon, if you want to join the discussion, you'll have to come over to podbean.com. Just look up Solid Blue Sister or my turn to talk. But people are very they're hypocritical people. And being someone who tends to speak their truth, and y'all know I have gotten into a lot of trouble saying some stuff, that I truly believe. Um, but we all must remember that we all every experience that we have is going to be different than someone else's. Um, there have been people on my podcast who have said that they've been homeless. I've never been homeless. I cannot imagine what it is like. I cannot give advice to someone who has been homeless to say, well, maybe if you had done this, maybe if you would do this. I cannot do that because I don't know what it's like. So everyone does have a truth to speak. Everyone does have, um, you know, something in their lives that may be true for them, but may not be true for the rest of us. And I think that nowadays, with today's climate, um, we all need to just probably take a step back and realize that people do have a life that you may not lead. Now, this person who I was referring to, I'm not going to say their name, whatever, but again, like I said, they got in trouble. It's been all over the news for something that they said again. And I was called out on a show last week, and I was told that you cannot police what people say. You cannot police a person's words. No, you cannot. People can say whatever the hell they want. But at the same time, the people who are hurling these particular words or these phrases or, saying certain things, welcome Duke James, or saying certain things, if you don't live that person's life and if you don't see what that person's going through, then are you hurling those words just to hurt someone? Are you being it just to be nasty and evil? I mean, why do people say things, hey, his cupcake, welcome? Why do people say some of the things that they say? I mean, I remember when I was growing up, there was one particular girl in my elementary school that I could not stand. And I purposely said hurtful things to her until my father caught wind of what I was doing and not only made me apologize in front of the entire class, which pissed me off, but I also got it when I got home. And my father reminded me, he says, for someone who gets teased herself, which I did because I stutter, you guys know that I do. I have my entire life. How can you go and talk about somebody else? And I wasn't doing it because people were teasing me. I was doing it because I really didn't like this girl, but a point was made. So when we speak our truth, is it right to call somebody out? Or should we just call someone out when those truths are hurtful? And I mean when they're aimed to be hurtful. Because people say things where they are purposely aiming to be nasty and hurtful. Am I right? Am I wrong? Anybody want to call me out? Tell me that I'm wrong. So I just I'm just confused sometimes when people call out, and I know I'm kind of talking um out of both sides of my mouth, because on one hand, I get upset when people call out for speaking their truth. But then again, it's like some people need to be called out for what they consider their truth. I can tell you that I grew up in a certain neighborhood, I grew up a certain way, blah, 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 blah. And you can tell me that, well, maybe if you had done this, maybe you had done this, or, maybe things would have been better. Maybe things, would have been, this or that. Yeah, you could. But did you grow up with me? Did you grow up like me? I mean, I have someone who consistently calls out my parents who are gone. They're no longer on this earth. But this person, I grew up. I didn't grow up in a bad neighborhood. I had a very nice childhood. Both my sister and I. We went to good schools. Had good parents. We went on vacation all the time. I've traveled everywhere. I'm married. Have a 22-year-old son in school, going for his master's. Um, I was brought up well, but this person tells me that because my mother worked, I didn't get all the um, guidance that I should have had because my mother worked. That, and then, as this person said, my parents could have done better. Okay, but then again, I look at their life, and it's like, well, what did your parents do? What kind of parent are you? Could you have done better? So that's what I mean when I say you may speak your truth in one way, but make sure that truth applies to you. If you're going to call somebody out, and these are things that I've learned over the years, if you call someone out for speaking their truth, or you're going to speak your truth, make sure the same thing applies to you. Don't tell someone else and make fun of someone else's house that may be run down, and you go to your house and your house is just as or equally so or maybe worse. Am I wrong? Because there's a lot of hypocrisy to speak your truth. But then again, there's a lot of truth. Not always pleasant. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Don't tell me, don't ask me why I didn't call you on the phone, but you're not calling me. Don't tell me that I'm not being a good friend, but you're not being a good friend. Don't tell someone who goes to work every day. Don't tell your coworker that they don't know what they're doing because a project they're working on, got messed up, but the one you turned in the week before was just as messed up. So we can all speak our truths. but we shouldn't be hypocritical about it. So I guess that's basically what I'm saying. And his cupcake is saying facts. You know, and again, we've all been there. We all have. But something comes along, that shakes us up. I had a couple of instances. I see my lesson should have been learned in elementary school. And even though I got it when I got home from my father, lesson still wasn't learned. I had to go to high school to learn it. And in high school, kids can be brutal. And one thing my dad used to always say is, while you're at home talking about somebody, they're at home talking about you. And here I go again, running my mouth, go to high school, running my mouth. And I know y'all have heard this story before. I'm in the locker room during gym class. Back then we called it gym. Now they call it PE. Eighth period. Good thing we only had 8 periods because I was able to go home. And I'm in one aisle changing my clothes, and some other girls in another aisle. I still remember these girls' names, talking about me like a dog. Who does she think she is? Blah, 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 blah. Hurt my feelings bad. Like I said, it was a good thing it was 8th period because I got on that bus, went home, and cried. Parents came home, wanted to know what was wrong. I told them, boo-hooing. My father just looked at me and said, see, I told you. He didn't feel any sympathy whatsoever. That part right there, that is when I learned. See, because when you open a door to something, people are going to walk through. If you open the door to something, and as Ellie said, the truth is not always pleasant. If you open the door and someone walks through, you can't be upset. If you say something to someone and they reply back about something about you that's the truth, you can't be upset. You can act upset. You can get pissed off and jump up and down and scream and, want to fight and curse somebody out. But can you really get upset if someone is telling you their truth about you? So I'm all for speaking that truth. Saying a problem for some people. Why do some people just really, really, really get upset when you say speak your truth? Because there's a lot of truth out there that is a lot of truth that people are saying today that they say they're speaking their truth, but it's BS. So again, let's see. Ellie says, I always criticize at my friends' behavior whenever I get mad. I know in real friendships, people never take offense and they try to change their behaviors. Ellie, I have to disagree with that because I don't think there's anything wrong with a friend taking offense to what you say. But if that friend is being a hypocrite about it, that's what I have a problem with. That's what I have a problem with. So, and Ellie says, truth prepares us to be a better version of ourselves because we are not perfect. No, we are not perfect. None of us are. And his cupcake says, facts they speak on others, but not self. Yes, yes. Cupcake, if you want to go live, you're going to have to come over to Podbean because then I can put you on the panel and we can actually have a conversation. It's a little different from TikTok. So just go to if you download podbean.com and you can come over, and I'd be more than happy to put you on the panel. And guys, if you guys are not following his cupcake on TikTok, you all need to. She has a great channel, and she and her husband have a great a DJ channel too. So um, no problem, no problem. Whatever you want to. So the only thing, Cupcake, is when people do come up on the panel on Podbean, you may not be able to hear them. And the same thing for you, AATL, Mary J. Oh, you're in my live. Hey, welcome. Again, if you want to go live, you'll have to come over to Podbean, because when people on Podbean go live, you won't be able to hear them. No problem, Ellie. Okay, and then Crazy Lady says some can't speak their truth because of maybe they are ashamed or unwilling to accept the truth. You know, Crazy Lady, it's interesting that you say that, because I think that there are people out there who and I know we all know these people, that there are people out there who for lack of a better word, only way I can say is they're frauds. Okay, they get out there and they say certain things. They go on these on social media, on some of these lives, whatever, and they can say all the right things, but their own lives are just crazy. And as we know, social media is a place where people can be other than who they want them to be. But some people you kind of have figured out. And Crazy Lady, so I want to know, if some people can't speak their truth because they are ashamed, be quiet and just not say anything. Should they just listen? Because if you keep talking, the BS just keeps piling up and piling up and piling up. Crazy Lady says the past is something that many don't want to accept, especially when they find they may have failed. But Crazy, we have all failed. I have failed so many times, I cannot begin to tell you. And I don't think it's a shame to fail. I mean, if you fail, you fail. I mean, no one's perfect. No one is perfect. And Ellie says, are you afraid of encounter your truth? Sometimes we try to avoid facing without reality or truth. I'm not afraid of facing my truth. I've had too much practice in my past, that, I mean, because the bottom line is, whether or not we try to pretend that we're somebody else, uh, or try to avoid, as Ellie says, the truth is still the truth. I mean, that's just like people who lie about their age. You can be 40 and tell everybody that you're 30, but the fact still stands is you're still 40 years old. On your next birthday, you're going to be 41. You can go and get lipo and Botox and all this other crap that people inject in them and put in them. And if I'm offending anyone right now, I'm just saying it. You go get your boobs done, your butt lifted, your lips filled, whatever. But the bottom line is, number one, that's not you, and number two, you're still going to age. You're still going to get older, and when you age, you'll probably look worse. You know, um, you're still you. You're still that person. You may do things to take the wrinkles away so you don't look like you're 70, but you're still 70, or however old you are. You're still that person. And Crazy Lady says failure is a successful attempt, and Cupcake is downloading now. Okay, Mika, welcome, and Mary Sue, welcome. And Ellie says, I hate aging process. I wish we could have exception about this and lie to ourselves. I mean, but again, um, Ellie, aging is a part of life. I mean, like people say, which is very, very true. You live. I mean, you are born, you live, and then you die. You're born, you live, you die. That is what happens. Some of us go through that process earlier than others. Some of us go through that process. We may only get 10 years of the process. You're born, you live, and when you're 10 years old, you pass away. Some of us don't get to 10. Some of us may only have a couple of hours. But that's the process that we go through. To me, is what you make of it. Mika says, I love my age, especially when I've laid on my deathbed at a young age. Bless. Okay. All right. So if anybody wants to pop up on the panel, you are more than welcome. Um, so to me, it all depends upon what you make of it. And when we speak our truth, I think we should be, we should glorify in our truth. We should um, wrap ourselves in our truth. Hold on one second. Let me just look at what's going on over here in Podbean land. Yeah, guys. So everybody on TikTok, if you want to go live, you'll have to come over to Podbean. Yeah. I mean, if you want to come up on the panel, you'll have to come over to Podbean. Okay, Crazy Lady says the past is gone and the future never comes. We only have today to live. You're right, because the future is tomorrow. The future is 5 minutes from now. The future is a minute from now. So take each day and live, Crazy Lady says. Mika says, yes to Crazy Lady. Ellie says, I'm losing my best time squandering here. That's why I don't like aging. Squandering here in my life. We're talking about squandering here on Earth. What are you talking about? Oh, but I mean, our truth. When you say speak your truth, it just has so many connotations. It could be something that is good and positive, or you can turn it into a negative. But whatever you do, to me, if you speak your truth, um, and if you tend to put someone else down, don't be surprised if they come back. Well, Ellie, I had to ask. Here in the place I live. Oh boy, but if you what I want to say, if you speak your truth and you're aiming it at someone, or if you speak your truth and you're kind of talking a bunch of crap, don't be surprised if people, don't be surprised if people kind of clap back at you, because people, you know, as one person told me one time, when somebody, really went hard on me on this show, they told me after the show, they told me I got what I got. I said, what did I get? Someone disagreed with me. They push back on me. I push back on them. I mean, we're going to disagree with each other. If you think you're right about something, okay. If I think I'm right about something, oh, okay. I have no problems with people pushing back on me, because the truth that I speak, I can back it up. And like I said, I'm not going to open up my mouth, and as I said, sometimes we just need to be quiet. If you don't know what is going on, if you haven't lived that person's life, sometimes you just need to be quiet. And there are a lot of times when uh, I've just had to be quiet because I don't know. And Mika says, yes, but with growth comes wisdom. Yes, it does. Well, thank you, Mika. Thank you. Um, you know, let's see. Crazy Lady says, plus through the discussion, you may be able to have the other person see a new truth. You could, you could, and I like the way you said through discussion, because the only way we are going to understand each other is if we discuss things. Now, there are some things that some people may never ever understand, may never ever understand. And people on TikTok, I apologize if my head is going towards. Hold on, because I'm looking more at my computer than I am at my iPad over here, where you guys are on TikTok. Um, but we have to discuss, and maybe if we discuss things more, maybe people will understand a little bit more. And Mika says, right and discussion don't mean talking to each other, but it's a difference. Oh, talking at each other. I'm sorry. Right, right. You know, because there are some things that some people will never ever understand. There are some things that people will never ever get. Ever. Ever. They just won't. I don't get everything. There are things, a lot of things that I don't understand. I don't live their life. I don't live their life through their lens. You know, someone who, is a lousy parent can't tell other people they're a lousy parent. Some people who, you know, mistreats animals can't come over my house and tell me how I should treat my dogs. Even though I don't abuse my dogs, I love my dogs. But people, we should have unbiased look when it comes to the truth. But Ellie, again, everybody has a different truth. But there are some people who are very biased when it comes to the truth. And one thing that I don't like to hear, um, even though I do say it sometimes, but it's a cop out when you allow people to get away with, if they do something and you say, and I have said about people, well, that's just how they are. If it's something that's someone's doing something that's ignorant, rude, hurtful, and you say that's just how they are, no. If someone says something that's mean and nasty, and then all of a sudden when they get called out, all of a sudden, oh, well, I was just joking, I was just playing. All of a sudden it's a joke and you're just playing because you got called out. That's when it became a joke. That's when everybody was just kidding. That's when you should learn to lighten up. That's what they say. Well, maybe you should lighten up. No, maybe you shouldn't have said what you said. But then again, it's freedom of speech, right? People who have freedom of speech, they're speaking their truth. Are they really? And that right there is a whole different show. So I don't know. I don't know. Welcome back, Cupcake. Um, I just see that, again, when you say speak your truth, it is something that everyone has a right to do. But if you speak your truth and you're talking about someone else, you should be able to back it up. You should be able to back it up. because everyone can't. And Shelby says, I don't get everything that I want either. Meaning what, Shelby? Hold on. I'm going to invite you up here. And Mika says facts. So hold on. I'm going to send a couple of invites out here if you guys want to pop on the panel or not. No problem. No worries. I always put the invites out there. So am I wrong? I mean, am I talking crap? Because we're coming at the end of the year. This is the last week of 2022. And so much has happened this year. So much has happened. So much has happened to each of us in our own individual lives. So much has happened to us as a whole. Um, all you hear all over social media is facts, 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 truth, truth, whatever. And, it just got me to the point where, when I'm listening to some of this noise, some noise is good. Some noise you want to hear. Some noise you don't want to hear. Some noise is just noise because it's just full of so much crap. I think about I'll be I'll be traveling Wednesday morning, and I'm just thinking about, okay, I always have to get my head into a particular space when I go to the airport because I know what I'm going to deal with. I know that as I'm standing in line going through TSA, that there's always going to be that one person who's going to get pissed off because they were told to do this, this, and this, and this, which they're telling you 50 people back, depending upon how many people are in line. They're telling you 50 people back that you have to do this, this, and this. But then you wait until the last minute to do it, and then you get upset. You're holding up the line. And I know that once I get through TSA, and see, I'm one of those people who get to the airport early. I'm one of those people who I will sit there for an hour, hour and a half, wait for my flight, because last thing I like doing is running for a plane. And I sit there and I people watch. While everybody else, I'm not one of those people who pulls out their phone or whatever, and I'm going to my phone. I try to stay off of it as much as I can when I'm out and about. I'll just sit there and I'll actually pull out a book to read, a book, or I'll just people watch. And you see, it's the same thing over and over. Somebody is always complaining or arguing about something where you hear it through the PA system. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do that. When we had to wear a mask, we don't have to wear them anymore, whatever. But when they were required in airports, you knew you had to put it on before you walked through the door. What? Why are you complaining? These are the rules. When you get on the plane, they tell you, put your seat up. We're about to take off. But you have that one person who still wants to lean all the way back in the other person's lap. Then they want to yell and scream, speaking their truth. I'm an American citizen. I don't have to do this, and I'm this, and I'm this, whatever. It's like, sit your butt down, whatever. You knew what you were supposed to do. What? To me, that's not truth. To me, that's noise. That's just noise. That's not good noise. That's bad noise. And Crazy Liz says, I say, mean what you say. So think before you speak. But Crazy Lady, we all don't always think before you speak. I mean, I know there are times when, and things do slip. Things are in your head that only supposed to stay in your head that it comes out your mouth. We've all been there. We've all done that. But some people, they shouldn't even speak at all. Some people should just be quiet. Someone was telling me about um, this was about a month ago. I had a conversation with a friend who was abused growing up, and I've known this person for about 15, 16 years, so I didn't know them as a child. Um, Only thing I can do is just listen, and sometimes that's the only thing people want you to do is just listen. But I couldn't speak to it because I don't know what that's like. So there are some times when you should just stay silent and be quiet. And that goes for all of us. There are times when we all just need to sit back and just be quiet. Just stay silent and just listen. Ellie says you did the best thing. Listening is precious. And that's another thing. A lot of us don't listen. My mother used to always tell me, because I would say, I heard you. She says, you hear me, but you don't listen. You never listen. Hey, I'm like, oh my God, I'm my mother. Saying that to my son. I said, would you listen? Because he would say the same thing. Mom, I heard you. I'm like, but you're not listening. And Ellie says, you can get more in silence. Yes. Now, I'm not saying that, we shouldn't, do things to make our voices heard, to make our truth heard. I have nothing against marches and protests and getting on social media. I mean, hell, I have my podcast, to get my voice heard. I have nothing against that. But I also think there's a way to do it. I think you can protest without destroying things. And when I say that, I'm talking about across the board. I think that you can um, have a podcast without being mean and nasty. People may think you're being mean and nasty, or people may not like what you have to say. But if you're not saying it and you're not being mean and nasty, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with um, pushing back on somebody as long as you understand that that person might push back. You can disagree with someone as long as you understand that that person may disagree, with what you just said. If we all agreed with each other, we would all be Stepford wives. And I don't know if everybody knows what that term is. That's kind of, I'm dating myself. We would all just be the same people. We would all just be the same. We would all just walk the same, look the same, talk the same, it would get very, very boring. But we're not. We are different people. And Ellie says, it's our right to push back. Yes, it is. But somehow we need audacity to disagree. And a dose of audacity, that's fine too. But I mean, some people really, it's like, if you're going to call me out about something, and if I call you out about the same thing, or if you're upset about what somebody else is doing and you're saying, well, this person only does this and this person does this and this, and I say, well, don't you do that? Well, didn't you just do that? And then there's that silence, and then they look at you like you weren't supposed to say that. So I guess that's where the audacity comes in. Mary Apshe, I apologize if I'm not saying your name correctly. Welcome. Zyklon B, welcome. Okay, Ellie says, I mean, in case religion telling the truth might lead to your execution. Okay, Ellie, I can see that where you are. I can understand that. I mean, even for something as religion, I mean, people should have the right to worship however they want. You have people who are atheists, you have people who are diehard Christians. Nowadays you just look at people who, I mean, religion is all kinds of things. Nowadays, all kinds of things. So hold on one second here. Okay. So, yeah. So, guys, that's all I have today on Speaking Your Truth. It's too deep to talk about, but I know what's your point. I mean, Ellie, it's just that, people, I find that in today's society, a lot of religious people who are speaking their truth are really not, they're not Christians. It's like you're waving the Bible in one hand while you're cursing somebody in the other. You're preaching God, on Sunday, but on Monday, you're just talking about people so bad, you know? I mean, this is the world we live in. But everyone, I am going to have a show tomorrow. It will be somewhat of a short show, and then I will be traveling the rest of the week. So you guys I won't be back until next week. Um, but I will be here tomorrow. You guys, thank you. Does anybody want to? And the same to you, Ellie. I plan to. I plan to. So some of it is business, most of it is pleasure, and I plan on having fun. So, any particular music you guys want to hear on the way out? I did not download anything particular. Does anybody have anything they want to hear? I think I'll go ahead and play this one. So everyone, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for everybody on TikTok who join, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the likes over there. And thank you for the likes over here on Podbean. And enjoy your day and evening wherever you are in the world. Jelly Six, welcome, welcome. We are ending now. And I'm going to leave you with do you know it's Christmas, even though it's not anymore? Have a good evening, everyone. Everyone on TikTok, you probably will not be able to hear this song. Hey, Safe Prep. I'm ending now. I'm over on Podbean. You too. Okay, everyone, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.